Good evening, everyone. This is Garrett's GRAILZ. I thought it would be fun to make a quick little, off the cuff sort of just kind of vibe chat about my vinyl records because I've been collecting vinyl since around 2020 when I was still in high school. And I was just thinking today, man, a lot of these records sure mean a lot to me. Why not talk about them? So today I'm going to have the top 10 vinyl records that I own. And I guess one important thing to note is that these aren't my favorite albums of all time. This isn't my top 10 favorite albums of all time. There's a lot of albums that I love and adore that, quite frankly, I don't have a vinyl of yet. And a lot of these records would not come anywhere near my top 10 albums of all time, but they have a nice story attached to them on how I got the disc. So let's just kick things off. First up, number 10, we have Inside Outside by Pipe Eye. And so the astute viewer would know Pipe Eye is also known as Cook Craig of King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard fame. And so, here's a little look at the back cover as well. I love the art on this. It's gorgeous. And the disc itself is just, it evokes very strong feelings of summer to me, and I think that's awesome. So Pipe Eye was an artist that I didn't really dig when I first listened to his work. I listened to his album Laugh About Life first, and I was like, this is stupid, this sucks. It felt very strange and kind of not up my alley. But then one night, I remember it was super late. I want to say it was like 2 a.m. And mind you, I think it's the pandemic at this point. And I was just like, you know what? Maybe I'll give Pipe Eye another chance. And so I listened to this album instead. And it just feels like bliss, man. Every time I listen to this album, every time I spin it, I just feel so nice. It's very soft, very almost folky. It's very strange in Pipe Eye fashion, but it feels a little more considered than maybe Laugh About Life. And after listening to this album, kind of training my ears to that sound, I ended up really liking Pipe Eye's other records as well. And I remember ordering it as soon as I got done listening to it, around like 2 a.m. and I'm super psyched I own it. So there you go. Next up, we have number 9. We have Lo-Fi Sauce by the Brothers Nylon. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. I think I play it for people more times than I can even count. And so how did I find this album? When I was in high school, I played in the jazz band. And so every single month you had to do this thing called the jazz listening log. And so typically what you're supposed to do is, listen to a song every single day and log it and write about it. And it's supposed to be really good. And that, in my opinion, is a great way to get better at jazz. You need to listen. And I'm not even really a jazz player much at all. The thing is I was still am kind of a very disorganized fellow. So oftentimes I would wait kind of to the last minute to do a lot of this stuff. I'd listen to a lot of music, but I don't know, it was hard for me to log it sometimes. I found out about this album because I was going on Spotify, just looking up modern jazz, whatever, and this album came up in a new jazz releases. The song, I don't know if it's on the back, Beachcomber, if you can see that. Is it jazz? I personally, maybe it's fusion-y, but it feels like organic lo-fi beats. To my opinion, it's the best kind of lo-fi beats. I've spun this so many times because it feels warm and cozy, as lo-fi beats sometimes fail to feel warm and cozy. This one feels like a warm hug. It feels like you're getting invited in to a friend's place, and it feels like love. And I love this album so much. It honestly could be in my top 10 albums just because of how much I've listened to it, but I'm just super psyched to have a copy of it. So the next one, number 8, is going to be a little bit strange for those who know me a lot. This is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Eyes Like the Sky. Now wait a minute, Eyes Like the Sky. For those who listen to King Gizzard, this is a very strange record from them. It was their second LP. Instead of psychedelic rock or even the garage sound that they were going for before this, this is a spaghetti western audiobook. And to tell you the truth, I don't really listen to it all that much. Maybe I'll listen to the first half a bunch because I think that's got a killer vibe. But the rest of it kind of loses me. really honestly don't think it's that amazing. So why do I have it here? Well, this is the specific Flightless Records Gunsmoke Edition, limited to 5,000 copies worldwide. So I wasn't a fan of King Gizzard in 2017. I was probably like sipping a juice box or something. But pretty much, I'm gonna have some water. That was splendid. Pretty much, they pressed all of their records once when they first released them, including this one. It even says on like the blurb here. And so a lot of the fans are like, yeah, we want represses. So they did a little run of represses for the first 4 albums and Below These Beats, the first EP that they made. And I always was enamored by how this specific pressing for Eyes Like the Sky looked. I thought it was gorgeous, and I knew, well, like, they sold out ages ago, so there's no way I'll ever get one. But then I started getting into like Discogs and stuff, and I was looking around a bunch, just kind of like to see if there were prices, and I saw, hey, Eyes Like the Sky for $50. Hey, that's not bad. So I went and bought it. I think it was around my birthday or something. And oh man, just look at this disc. The blue and the red is definitely a choice, but it's a choice that I really like. And it sounds great, but here's the issue. When I first ordered this album, mind you, it's on Discogs, so I'm ordering it from just some fellow, right? It came in warped. You know, in California, the heat can be really rough if it's sitting out for even a couple hours on my porch. And so I played it, and it was skipping like mad. The damn thing couldn't play. I remember being so bummed, being like, oh, there it is, like that. I blew it, you know. I'm not going to be able to have the kind of variant that I wanted for this, and that's okay, you know. It's just a colored disc, but it's still like, it's disappointing. I mean, come on, it's fucking glorious. It's beautiful. So I went. Oh, you know what? I actually got the story backwards. So they had a very, very limited run of like the extra stock of these, and that was the first one that I bought. I thought that, okay, they sold out ages ago, but one day on the King Gizzard online store, wow, I can't believe I forgot that. They had a handful of the Gunsmoke edition left, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'll order it. And so I ordered it, shipped from Australia, hell expensive shipping. That's something I don't really do anymore now, just because of money issues, or I guess not money issues, but not having as much money to spend on this. Anyways, it comes in, it's warped. We all know that already. And I was like, frick, dude, this is the saddest day of my life. You know, you reach out to support, they can't really do much because, you know, there's not any more copies. The best they can do is refund. And so I'm super bummed. And then, as I mentioned, I go on Discogs and I find a copy for like $50, and I'm like, hell's with it. I gotta get this. And so I did. Came in. It sounds beautiful. And so, well, Eyes Like the Sky has never been my favorite King Giz record. It has a special place in my heart because of this story. And I'm very glad I was able to de-haunt the past with that one. And now I have a beautiful record to remember it by. So let's see if I can get this back in the plastic. There you go. Wow, yeah. That's cool. As I was telling that story, I remembered that I got it wrong. That's super interesting. So next up, this is going to be number 7. We have Mint Jams by Cassiopeia. And so this is a record that my buddy JD actually just got me like maybe half a week ago for my birthday. And so that is just incredible. I mean, I'm so thankful to own this because these are hard to come by, you know? I've never seen one of these in the wild. His brother works at Amoeba Records, and so he was able to cop one like months ago or something. And I'm just super psyched to own it because this has been one of my favorite live albums of all time for a little bit now. And as you can see, the record itself is freaking gorgeous. You know, let's take a look here. Yeah, it's a beautiful fluorescent green. Goes perfectly with the cover. And so I'm just very thankful to own this, and thank you to JD. I love this album so much. This is just one of those albums that I have up here because number one, I like how the record looks, and number two, it's just an amazing album. So if you haven't listened to it, maybe give it a try. So next up, oh, here we go. We have, I almost dropped it. We have House in the Tall Grass by Kikagaku Moyo. And so, once again, this is another like high school Garrett pick. Most of these records I bought while I was in high school because, you know, when I'm in college right now, I don't really have record player, a sound system, anything to really listen to stuff, and I don't want to have to deal with shipping records back and forth. That's not for me. So a lot of these are from that time period, aside from that last one. But this is another one. I adore this album. When I was listening to this, I was probably the most into psychedelic rock I ever was. And this album is the absolute pinnacle of that era for me. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's beautiful. I wanted to like make music that sounded like this for a while. I never actually ended up doing that because I didn't know how to write music in high school. Now I do. Just a very simple, you know, black vinyl. But I think it fits the vibe of the album super, super well. I thought I should give a fun little story for this album. A lot of the Kikagaku Moyo records were not in print when I got into them, including this one. And so I remember being like, shoot, I love Kikagaku Moyo so much. I actually now have all but one of their albums in vinyl when they repressed it, again, when I was in high school. So that's cool. But anyways, this album was not in print, and I really wanted it. And so I was just kind of browsing online, Discogs, whatever, and I found a great price for it. Came in, sounded beautiful. Important thing to note, my favorite song on this album is the first one on side B, which is called Silver Owl. Why is this important? Well, when I was in my senior year of high school, I joined the marching band. I swear this is going to make sense. And so, you know, I was playing like the cymbals. It was a cool little experience, you know? I don't really think marching is my sort of sport. I think I much more prefer just kind of playing sloppy shows on the drums or, you know, singing my heart out on the guitar. Either of those, I think, appeals to me and my skill set a little bit more, but it was still super fun, and I definitely got a little bit in shape because of it, and yeah, I met a lot of great people through it too, so I have a lot of good memories attached to it. But anyways, there'd be a lot of like football games and stuff, right, where the band would have to come out and do like pep songs, and that was always fun because you would just get to like yap with people and hang out on the bus and whatever, you know, it was a great vibe. So those were on Thursdays typically. Now, earlier in that year, Kikagaku Moyo announced their final tour, their final US tour, and pretty much the final tour overall. They toured the US and then I think Japan, and then that was it, called it quits. They haven't come back since, and that makes sense, right? And so I got tickets for that way in January because I was like, I can't miss this. This is one of my favorite bands at the moment. And so, yeah, I went and got tickets for that. I was going to see it with my twin Oliver and my father. You know, kudos to him for getting me the tickets and stuff like that. But I remember when I joined marching band, which was definitely on a whim. I remember I just kind of wanted more stuff to do in my senior year. I wanted to do as much music as I could, and that was a blast. So anyways, I joined band, and we had all these football games. And I remember one of the football games, the worst nightmare possible, was scheduled on the night of the Kikagaku Moyo show. I wasn't really having that issue for any other concert that I was seeing that semester. Any of the other concerts that I was seeing, I probably would have had a chance to see that artist later if I missed it. But this one I knew I could not miss. And I remember spoiling over it because when you're in high school, that kind of thing seems like the biggest deal. Missing a pep rally for band? Oh no. Like, if you asked me that now, I'd be like, there's literally no choice besides going to the concert. But I remember like being really bummed about it, being like, oh man, things are gonna be bad. How am I gonna get out of this one? And so I remember writing on like the absence slip for my band director, I'm not going because I'm seeing this concert. It's just gonna be worth it. And I just tanked the grade, and that was that, you know? I'm so glad I made that choice. If I didn't, I mean, talk about a dweeb, right? But like, in any case, I'm super psyched that I got to see that show because it was one of my favorite shows. And to get back to the song Silver Owl, which I mentioned earlier, I have this kind of thing where a lot of times when I'm at concerts, it's happening a little less so nowadays, I want to say, hopefully. A lot of times when I'm at concerts, I will like start feeling really nauseous and queasy. maybe it's an anxious thing. I don't want to self-diagnose or anything, but you know, I've had it for a while, so I've kind of just learned to deal with it. But who knows? Maybe I should look into that more one of these days, just to make sure I'm all set. Well, anyways, I was having that issue at the Kikugaku Moyo show, and I was still enjoying it hella because it was such an amazing concert, and I was like, this is phenomenal. Nothing can spoil this night. During Silver Owl, which was my favorite song, it was really starting to peak, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so nauseous, but this is so awesome. And in the middle of that song, they always do this very long, like, kind of ambient drone section, and it feels like it heals your soul, almost. As silly as that sounds, it feels like it heals your soul. And so, yeah, I was sitting there so queasy, and I bought a shirt at the merch stand earlier. I remember I was holding it, and I was like, oh, fuck, I'm gonna throw up. And so I threw up into the shirt, and I felt like $2 million, $3 million even. I felt so incredible. And I definitely think I made a noise when I did it, so sorry to the people next to me. But what can you say? The music is healing. I haven't listened to that album in quite a while, but honestly, I might after this. It feels like that kind of night. So yeah, next up, we have number 6, I'm pretty sure, right? Let's make sure. 10, it's hard to count, isn't it? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, actually. This is number 5. Yeah, so the astute viewers in the background were probably shaking their heads at me. Yeah, so this is number 5. This is going to be kind of a silly one. The Persona 3 soundtrack on vinyl. Another one that kind of takes me back to that simpler time. This is a game about, you know, you're playing as like a high schooler and stuff, and I got it while I was in high school. And I just remember it was finals week when I got it. It was a very rainy week. I remember thinking like that it didn't really matter too much how the finals went because I felt pretty confident, but I knew that I had to get a copy of this when it dropped. And thankfully I did. And honestly, the track listing on this kind of blows. It's really hard to listen to because it's like amazing song, Tartarus theme, random sound effect, cue, whatever. I don't listen to it too much. I listen to a lot of songs on this, and I think it's really cool to own this just because it looks really awesome. But yeah, I love this album. I guess this soundtrack, it's one of my favorite soundtracks. Persona 3 is just one of my favorite games of all time. This is cool. This is a very reflective sort of conversation that we're having, you know? I wasn't expecting to do too much of that because I'm just talking about music I like, but I have a lot of strong memories attached to these albums. So, you know, it's not all just like from the great grand history of Garrett's high school career. Thank God, you know. Some of it is more recent, but it's still very cool to reflect as time goes on. So, you know, we've just reached our halfway point. Let's keep it moving. I'm seeing that I've been talking for 18 minutes now, so hopefully I can keep your attention a little longer. All right. Oh, here we go. This is Fresh as a Head of Lettuce, number 4 on my list. This is a Babe Rainbow album. This is the first EP that they released in 2023. I want to say it was that summer or something. And I remember I was in college listening to this EP and to the other EP that came later, like just on repeat. And oh my gosh, I love this album, this EP so much. And I don't typically like having EPs on vinyl because you have to flip it. In my opinion, it would have been really cool if they just had one side be the first EP and one side be the second EP, but you know, what can you do? And look how beautiful this is. Oh my lord. Also, I didn't show you the Persona discs because I didn't really feel like taking them all out. It takes forever, but trust me, they look cool. I love this EP. I think this is probably the best Babe Rainbow project. Babe Rainbow, they are like the G's of all G's. Wow, look at that sun. That is freaking, see that? Look, that is freaking beautiful. Wow, I'm literally glowing. That's so awesome. Anywho, Babe Rainbow, they are the G's of psychedelic surf music. And again, I love psychedelic rock. Babe Rainbow are amazing. I loved this EP when it came out. I still do. I remember when I saw the Babe Rainbow in concert, they played, I think, every song on this album. Pretty sure. Maybe all but one. Also, I keep saying album. Please don't kill me. I'm so sorry. I know there's... That's cool. I know there's going to be some people We're gonna probably try and find my address later, but let's hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, I was in my first semester of college. I was listening to Babe Rainbow a bunch because their EPs were coming out and they're still fresh in your mind, so you keep on listening to them. 4 tracks, that's so easy to get through. I love it. And I remember one time I just Googled Babe Rainbow just because I like Googling stuff that I like. It's sick, and I saw they had a new website. I was like, what? BabeRainbow.com? Is it BabeRainbow.com? It might not be, but it probably is. And so anyways, I went on the website and I found that, oh wow, they have like a full new website and like, OMG, like a bunch of merch and stuff. And I kept scrolling. And then I saw, by the way, this is the quietest release of a website ever. They didn't say anything about this online. I just found this by pure happenstance. I saw that they had vinyl pressings of both this EP, Fresh as a Head of Lettuce, excuse me, and Mushroom. And I was like, no freaking way. I need to get these right now. And so I remember dropping like hella coin. I had a pretty small allowance that semester, but I remember dropping it, like most of it, just blowing it on those 2 albums, because also they were getting shipped from Australia. And I remember being like, this is gonna be so worth it. And it absolutely freaking was. When I came back for winter break, I was like just spinning these all the time, and it was just, man, shit was just groovy. I don't know what to tell you. What an awesome EP. I love it so much. Next up, another strange King Gizzard record. We have Made in Timeland, and this is an album that I will defend with my life. I love Made in Timeland so much. It is not my favorite King Gizzard record. I don't think it's anywhere close, once again. But I love this album. I think it's so underrated. It is some of the nicest background music I've ever heard in my entire life. And here's a little peek at what we got going on here. So why did I pick this one in particular? Why do I care? Why does this matter? King Gizzard? What are we doing? Oh man, I love this disc. So, the astute King Gizzard fan would know that this is Made in Timeland. Okay guys, this is Made in Timeland Silver Platter Edition. And so, man, I mean, what can you even say? As you can see, it says Flightless Records on this King Gizzard album. And this was an album that was released after Eric had left the band and after they had departed from Flightless Records. And so, why does this exist? Well, this album was being worked on for ages, apparently, allegedly, or something. I mean, Eric is actually on the back cover. I'm not going to point to him, but it's like right over there. And yeah, so Timeland was supposed to be released January 2020. That didn't quite happen though. I don't remember why they skipped it, but they did. Then it was supposed to be released January 31st or January 1, or sorry, December 31st or January 1 of 2022 and 2023 respectively, I want to say. Yeah, that's right. But because of COVID, it kept getting canceled and getting pushed back, and this album was being leaked to hell and back. People kept on finding it. I'd never listened to the leaks, and so the first time I listened to this album was on this disc, and I remember that being a very special experience. That's very rare to happen. The only other time that has happened is with Calm Your Farm by the Murlocs, which luckily came early for me, so that was super cool. And so I love having this specific version of it because this is the last Flightless record of a new King Gizzard album that we will probably ever get. And I have the Silver Platter edition. Also, I have the cardboard sleeve, which is incredibly rare to... I can't remember if you could only get it on Gizverse or if you could only get it on the Flightless Records store, but nevertheless, I got really lucky and I have one. And I remember when it came out, people were like boosting the price on this like hella, and it was just a real funny thing. And so I was real psyched to have it. The price has since gone down because like who cares? But I love having it. I love spinning it especially. It's a beautiful album. Give it another listen if you need some interludes or whatever. Oh, I totally forgot to bring something out for my number 2 vinyl that I own, which is Lazarine by Monoxy. Um, this is a shoegaze group that I discovered while playing Fall Guys over the pandemic. I was on r/psychedelic rock on Reddit. Here's a little insert. That's really cool. I can't see myself now. Now I can. That's awesome. And this band, Monoxy, posted that they have records for their new album. And I was like, you know what? I'll listen to it. Why not? And so I did. Lazarine by Monoxy. And it has since become one of my favorite albums that I have ever listened to. I love it so much. Yes, it has flaws. Don't give a shit, though. This is such an amazing album. I think there's so much good about it. Maybe in the middle, it can get a little slow. But honestly, dude, I kind of appreciate it more. And I really appreciate what they were going for with the album and just kind of sticking to it. Another reason I have this album as number 2 is because I ordered this on Bandcamp. And when you buy albums on Bandcamp, you can include little messages to the artist. And so I wrote to them like, yo, I really like this album that you guys made. Like, this is one of my favorite albums I've heard this year. Great work, keep up the good stuff. My favorite track is Deep Blue Sea, Convey Your Love. By the way, that is probably one of my favorite songs of all time. Please go listen to it. It's so gorgeous. I love this album so much. I think I love it more than I think. It could be a top 20er for me in terms of albums all time. Wow, I love it. But the artists, you know, they see the messages that they put, or that you put on Bandcamp, and they sent me with the album. Sorry, I gotta backtrack. With the album, you get a little booklet with all like the lyrics and various like things. Inside of that, there's a little post-it that said, "Hey Garrett, thanks so much for your kind words on the music. Love Monoxy." And they did not even have to do that, but they did. And I just think little things like that I really appreciate, because at the end of the day, I'm an artist as much as they're an artist, and artists gotta help artists, and we gotta make the world go round. And so it was just really cool. It's like, it's a small world. I was such a young kid when I bought it, and I still am a pretty young kid, honestly. But I thought it was very beautiful that we were just celebrating a good moment. I loved their music, and they were better off because of it. So that was really cool. And so before we get to my number 1 pick for album that I own, I thought I'd go through some honorable mentions. I have 2. First is American Football's debut LP. This is a deluxe edition, 2 LP, 45 RPM. I mean, what can you say? This is just an amazing album. It's really cool how it reflects everything. Admittedly, you know, it sounds pretty good. I love how it looks. I'm so happy I own this album. Thanks again to my dad. He just went and saw American Football, and he decided to buy this for me, which is just super kind of him. And I love how this sounds. I think the disc itself, oh my lord, the disc, can you even believe it? Everything that's included with this just automatically makes this one of my favorites. While I do enjoy single LPs a little bit more just because you get more music per side, I do not mind flipping the side a couple extra times for this album. Just look at how gorgeous that is. That was weird. Anyways, gorgeous, beautiful. I love it. And also this one comes with a really, really well-made lyric booklet and has a lot of old shots of when this band was starting out. And so I think it's super cool to own this, and it just looks so fucking cool. This mirror, wow, that's me. It's the back of my head. Hopefully I'm not bald yet. And so here's the lyric booklet. We can flip through it really quick. Just kind of a lot of cool stuff, you know. Wow, that's a guy singing. Sucks he cheated on his wife. Ah. Yeah, hopefully he's figuring that out. It's a very special album. This really got me into twinkly guitar work in general, and the drumming on it is phenomenal. Love it so much. Very thankful to own it. So that's my first honorable mention. Second honorable mention is the album that got me into collecting records. This is Chicago Transit Authority, Jazz Rock Gurus from 1969. This is actually my dad's album from way back in the day. There's a little peek at the gatefold. I didn't actually show you the gatefold for American Football, so I'm going to do that now. Pretty cool. Yep, pretty cool. So there you go. And so I picked this album because I wouldn't be into collecting vinyl if it wasn't for this album. My dad has been a huge Chicago fan for as long as that I can remember. And I remember over the pandemic, I was super bored. I was listening to pretty much only Rush, Chicago, and the Beatles at this point in my life. Started to get some other things going at that time too, but Chicago was a big one, and I loved their debut album so much. And I remember my dad mentioning that he had a bunch of old records, and I was like, shoot, let's go through them. Let's set up a record player. Let's boogie, you know? And so that we did. We set up the record player. We listened to Chicago Transit Authority. I was just like, wow. So it's an honorable mention because it got me into collecting records. So that's great. Time for number one. Those who know me in personally already know what this is. It's Ants from Up There by Black Country New Road. This was my birthday present last year. This is my favorite album of all time. I cannot foresee any other album topping this ever, just in their history of life and glory and love. And this is just a standard copy of it. It's nothing special, really. And it's just, standard black vinyl. I don't care, dude. This is the best album ever made. It has single-handedly put me on the path that I am on now of being a songwriter and wanting to tell more stories with my music. And vinyl itself, it's great. Comes with a beautiful lyric booklet as well, which I always really appreciate when artists go the extra mile to really just make their releases stand out. And just this entire album, the story behind it, I love it so much. It has inspired me to be a better songwriter, to be a better person, everything. And so I love this album so much. I'm so thankful to own it and to have the privilege of spinning it. And I don't know, I hope to one day have some vinyl records of my own to, hopefully spin and give to friends. And I don't know, I want to make some music. I want to change the world, and I really do think that I'll be able to. So yeah, thank you for listening to about half an hour of my ramblings on my favorite vinyl records that I own. This has been Garrett's GRAILZ. If you've made it this far, why don't you tell me some of your favorite albums? Even if you don't collect vinyl records, that's cool. Just tell me some albums that you really like. It's a crow. I think that crow likes an album. A crow looked at me. I actually haven't listened to it yet, but it's been on my list. Yeah, if you do collect records, tell me what your favorite vinyl record that you own is. Or you don't have to either. That's cool. I had a lot of fun regardless. So, yeah, I've been Garrett GRAILZ. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace out.